Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm in Montrose, Colorado at the moment. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace. I also have an account with Twitter and Facebook. This year is about Air Force basic training. First thing you need to know, it's called basic training, not boot camp. Uh, Second of all, do not cut your hair before getting there. I guarantee you they're going to pretty much send you home. We've heard, I'm sure you may have heard things about some people doing that. I can assure you it doesn't impress the MTIs whatsoever. Second of all, third of all, it's called the training instructors are called military training instructors, or better known as MTIs. When I was in, it was only 6 week basic training course. I think now it's almost up to about 8.5 weeks. Again, it can vary sometimes, just depending on how much money they have. Of course, you go to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. You arrive there on a plane. The first thing you're known as when you get off the bus is you're known as a rainbow. That's because you have civvies on. And of course, civilian clothes means civvies, or civvies means civilian clothes. If you get there on a Friday, especially late, your basic training won't start until Monday. You won't get your haircut till Monday, or your uniform till Monday. So keep that in mind. And if you go during the wintertime and it's very cold, you may not be placed, have to do any real exercises, or not, or like obstacle courses, where you have to run through the log and the ropes and all that stuff. You do get 3 square meals a day. Lights out at about 9. You get up at 5 a.m. That's known as reveille. You have 5 minutes to fall out. You do not put your boots on. You'll be putting tennis shoes on. And you'll be falling out, standing in with about 60 other recruits, and then you'll do your morning exercises and running. Other things you need to remember about basic training is that you do not want to volunteer for anything. Don't do it. Volunteer because everybody's given a duty. Some will have to mop floors, some will have to buff the floors, some will have to sweep, some will have to do all kinds of things. The one job that you do not ever volunteer for and you kind of hide away from, and that's called the food runner. The food runner is a person that must run in 3 times a day, morning, lunch, and supper, and ask the MTI inside the cafeteria, or mess hall, whatever you want to call it, asking for permission to allow the flight to come in. Of course, it's a little bit different. Some food runners get chewed out, screamed at, and yelled at. The MTI is just kind of like have a little fun with it. And so the one I remember that we had, he lasted about 3 days, and they sent him home. I think they may have sent him to a mental ward because he basically was just freaking out. He was a nervous individual. And they just shaved his head and sent him home. You got a big laugh out of it. Do not ever agree to be the food runner, not unless they force you, and usually they won't. The other thing of it is sometimes they'll tell you what not you can't wear. You can't wear watches, rings, and necklaces, and earrings, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, if you're a man, you should be wearing an earring anyway. And then somewhere along the way, they'll scream out, "Anybody know what time it is?" Or they'll ask recruits, "Do they know what time it is?" And sure enough, there'll be a few idiots saying, "Oh yeah, it's 5:15 a.m." Then they reprimand you for it. Be careful of those little tricks. When you're in basic training, you compete against another flight, usually just one other flight, and you want to be the best flight. The MTIs will tell you that if you win honor flight, that he'll go easy on you. No, he won't, because right after if you win it, the thing that MTI or MTI, so usually there's 2, will say to you is that now that you're honor flight, I expect more of you, and so I expect you to be act and march and participate like an honor flight. So don't buy this that we'll go easy on you garbage. After about 3 weeks, they'll let you off base and go downtown San Antonio. It's a beautiful place, river walks, whatever. It's a blast down there. But go in a group because there are people down there looking for recruits. People who are in basic training, so they can roll it. One time, a group of us went downtown San Antonio. I was in my 5th week at the time. And these 2 guys came up and wanted us to step in behind this building somewhere for whatever reason. I wasn't even paying attention to what was really going on because I was looking everywhere else. And apparently what was going to happen was we're all about to get rolled. Be very careful down there. Go in with a group. They do have pretty good food there. At least when I was in there, they did. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh yeah, you take a lot of tests. You can be set back if you flunk one of the tests. Ours was known. Basically, you need to learn all about the military ranks. You need to learn how to make a hospital bed. If you know a nurse, get her to teach you how to make a hospital bed, or somebody that knows how to fold things. And when you polish your boots, we would sometimes pay $1 for someone in our flight to shine our shoes for us every night. And basically, you just take the black polish, put a little water in it, get a piece of cotton into the water, into the cotton, and then polish your shoes. You can buy, when you get after you're out of basic training, shoes that these shining shoes, I think they call them, like leather. The only problem with those kind of shoes, you didn't have to polish these kind of shoes, is wipe them off. The only problem you have with them is the fact that they scratch easy. So be warned, and you can't have those kind, at least in basic training. I think you can get them in tech school. That's where you go after you're out of basic training. But in tech school, you might be able to wear them. But be warned that if they get scratched, that scratch is permanent, and there's basically usually no way to hide it sometimes. But anyway, that's what we did. But all you need is take the lid of some shoe polish, put a little bit of water in it, take a cotton, dip it into the water, or a little bit, and then into the polish, and then you shine your shoes that way. Or your boots and shoes, for that matter. Let's see, you'll get another haircut as you get out of tech school, or out of basic training. They'll shave it again. The funniest thing in the world I've ever seen in my life was there's two things that I remember, is seeing everybody with their hair long and stuff like that going into the barbershop, and I was the second one to go, and then everybody coming out of it, and they look like you don't even know who the other person is sometimes, because everybody looks so different. And basically we all just stood around laughing at each other. And when we did cleanup, in the dorms, we call them dorms, not barracks, it's funny. It's funny seeing some of the things that go on inside there, because when they wax the floor, the way we buff it is take our own towels, bath towels, lay it on the floor and start dancing, turn the music wide open and start dancing, and be great for America's Funniest Videos. Anyhow, that's what happens there. Okay, now when you're in basic training, you will have to go dorm guard duty, usually for like 2 hours. It could be at 1 in the morning to 3 a.m. and things like that. You will have to do that, and you'll have to stand by the door. Be warned, there is an MTI down somewhere in an office there, that's, if he's not sleeping, he's supposed to be awake, but if he's not sleeping, who will be monitoring everything that you say. They do listen in on your conversations in the daytime and at nighttime. Be very, very careful at what you say. That's a warning. And don't buy this thing when MTI is going to come up to get inside the dorm and going to put up a Mickey Mouse, card. We used to hear that rumor all the time that they would do that. And some recruits would let them in, and they got sent home. That's another thing you need to be warned about. There's a chance that if you screw up, you can be set back to another flight. There was one flight, though I don't know if this was ever true or not, that was on its way to sign out after their 6 weeks were up. Who mooned the MTI. The MTI sent every one of them back. They had to redo all of it. I don't think that's true, but they can set you back for messing up, and they will send you home for messing up. You better be able to pass those tests, and you better play the game, because if they say go right and you go left, they may just send you home. We lost a lot of recruits when I was there. Almost every couple of days somebody was getting set back or sent home. Only got like a minute or so to go here. But you can call home, I think, within a week or 2 weeks after you get there. Don't expect to call home when you first get there. And that's just some of what I want to tell you about basic training. I might add some more in another video. I can only go 10 minutes on this one. And hope that helps out a lot. But I would strongly suggest that you learn the ranks, military ranks, learn everything you can about the Air Force before you go in, and you have a better chance of getting through it. Thanks for your time. My name's Dale Wilhite. If you want to find me, I'm on MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter. Bye.